Hey everyone, what's going on? Today I have a Windwalker Monk 5.4 PvP guide for you. Now keep in mind, I'm not the greatest WoW player out there, but I have been playing monks since MOP release, and I have been making monk PvP videos for quite a while now, and I think I could give you guys my own solid opinion on what's been successful so far in 5.4. So let's get into it. Let's start with talents first. I'll briefly go through my talents and my thought processes behind them. So let's start with Tiger's Lust. Instantly clears the target of all movement impairing effects and increases their movement speed by 70% for 6 seconds. Really great effect here. But I think what makes this talent even greater is that not only can you cast it on yourself, you can cast it on your teammates. So this talent is actually beneficial to others as well. So no doubt, I'd definitely go Tiger's Lust here. Alright, next talent. Again, this is a very easy pick. Chi Wave. It does decent damage, decent healing, and it's on a relatively short cooldown. And these two other talents, Zen Sphere and Chi Burst, they haven't really compared to Chi Wave yet. So definitely go Chi Wave here. Next set, Ascension. Ascension is a very solid choice here. It's a great talent. Increases your maximum Chi by 1 and increases your energy regen by 15%. And that extra Chi slot works well with Tiger Palm, and it really allows your abilities to flow very nicely. But I just quickly wanted to mention Chi Brew. I've been experimenting with it a little bit and have had some moderate success with it. You might glance at it and you're like, 45-second cooldown, instantly restores 2 Chi, generates 2 stacks of Tiger Eye, But what really makes it interesting is it has 2 charges. So let me show you guys very quickly. Right now, I have an empty Chi bar and no Tiger Eye stacks whatsoever. But almost instantly, I can have a full Chi bar and 4 stacks of Tiger Eye. So you can ramp up your maximum potential burst more quickly with Chi Brew. So I think this talent does have some potential, and I recommend you guys try it out, experiment with it, and see what you think. But definitely, I'd say Ascension is you definitely can't go wrong with it. It's awesome. All right, next, Leg Sweep. Now, this entire expansion, I've been using Leg Sweep over Ring of Peace. I've been preferring it a lot more. It's a 5-second stun. And the stun completely shuts someone up unless they do something about it. 45-second cooldown, pretty good. It's also an AoE stun, which is really awesome. I'd say the only con to Leg Sweep is it's a very short range. And if you're using Leg Sweep for the first time, it can take some getting used to on knowing when you're in range to use it. But you definitely get used to it, and you become better at landing a nice leg sweep. Ring of Peace. It's a decent talent, and I definitely think it has its time and place. More specifically, I think it's good against casters, and even more so against mages. When you're going 1v1 against a mage, and you leg sweep him, he can easily just blink out of it. And the only real way to ensure you land a nice leg sweep is to wait until after he blinks. That way his blink's on cooldown, and he can't blink out of it, so he's either got to sit in it or deal with that leg sweep in another way. And that's fine and everything, but you're totally reliant on when that mage blinks. And if you use Ring of Peace, worrying about when he blinks doesn't even matter. You can just pop. I'd recommend popping Ring of Peace pretty much every time it's up, every 45 seconds. It'll silence him for 4 seconds. It'll, shut him up and allow you to pressure him a bit more. And it's definitely a good talent against mages. Actually, in my last video, I used this against Hotted, and I had success with it. Next, Healing Elixirs. Alright, this is one of my favorite talents as a monk, because this is what gives monks their survivability. Every 18 seconds, you can heal yourself for 15% of your total hit points. Really great talent. To activate it, you need to use a brew, but you know, you got lots of ways to use it. You got Tiger Eye Brew, Energizing Brew, Chi Brew if you're spec'd into it, Fortifying Brew, Nimble Brew. You got a lot of brews going on. So definitely go Healing Elixirs. I'll quickly mention Diffuse Magic because there are times when I use this talent, again, especially against casters. It's a nice talent to use, but a majority of the time, I'm going Healing Elixirs. Okay, this last tier, I think I need to do you know, a decent amount of explaining here. Alright, so Rushing Jade Wind and Invoke Zune are both really good talents in my opinion. There is a con to these talents, which might not be a big one, but it's just something to think about. And that is that these talents do AoE damage, and our main form of CC is Paralysis, which breaks on any type of damage. So when you're using these abilities, you kind of have to be mindful of you know, where you're at, where Zune's at, so you don't accidentally damage the person you're trying to CC. It does happen sometimes. I don't think it's a huge issue, but it's just something to be aware of. But these talents really do add to your damage output, and the main difference between the two is your damage output and burst your bursting potential. Rushing Jade Wind, it's on a short cooldown. You cast it. It's this whirlwind that goes around you, and you know it hurts everyone around you. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's pretty decent, and it adds up. And when you have a 10 stack, and you pop Tiger Palm and get that Tiger Power buff and just go at it, it really does increase your burst potential. And the nice thing about it is, whenever you have a 10 stack, you're pretty much guaranteed to have Rushing Jade Wind ready to go. And with Zune, Zune's on a 3-minute cooldown, and he will not be available every time you have a 10 stack. I do, however, though, think that Zune is still a good option. That's because he lasts for 45 seconds, which is quite a long time when it comes to PvP, and during that amount of time, he will do some decent damage. My favorite thing about Zune, it's kind of the little things. He annoys people. He's just something else that's there, and you know you could potentially use him to keep people in combat. You could keep, you know, prevent someone from drinking. Say like a rogue has already used his vanishes, and he tries to blind you. He wants to go for the re-stealth to reopen up on you, but luckily you have Zune out, and Zune's gnawing on him and keep him in combat. It's just great. Zune's good for certain things, and I actually prefer using Zune in arenas, and I like using Rushing Jade Wind in BGs. However, I don't think that's, you know, the mindset you should have. It's just kind of been my preference lately, because I do think Rushing Jade Wind really has potential in arenas, but I feel like I don't like worrying about my position as much, you know, because say like the DPS and healer are right next to each other and you're doing twos or something, and you're going for the kill, but you know Rushing Jade Wind keeps breaking your paralysis or something. It's kind of annoying, and it's funny I say this because Zune does AoE too, and his AoE range I think is actually greater than Rushing Jade Wind. So it's just something weird. It's just my playstyle, I guess. Okay, so let's talk about glyphs. Glyphs are pretty easy. They're pretty straightforward. So let's quickly go over them. Alright, the first one. Glyph of Touch of Death. This allows you to use Touch of Death without it costing any chi. And without this glyph, I think it costs like 3 chi or something to use Touch of Death. And chances are, if you've got someone down low enough to use Touch of Death, you've probably spent your chi and you don't have enough to use this ability. And another thing is, sometimes you have such a small window of opportunity to use Touch of Death before your target is healed back up again. So this glyph really ensures you can use Touch of Death when you need to, which is great. Okay, next glyph. Glyph of Touch of Karma. Your Touch of Karma now has a 20-yard range. Another great glyph because without it, your Touch of Karma has an extremely short range, and against classes, ranged classes like hunters, casters, there's a good chance there'll be quite a bit of distance between you and your target, and when it comes time for you to use your Touch of Karma, you won't be able to because your target's too far away, and there's a good chance you could die. So I recommend Glyph of Touch of Karma. Now the last glyph is a little more open. For BGs, which I've been doing a lot of lately, I've been going with Glyph of Nimblebrew. Glyph of Nimblebrew. Clearing an effect with Nimblebrew heals you for 10% of your maximum health. Great. A little more survivability. But a lot of the times when I'm doing Arena, and depending on what comp you're playing, it's probably a good idea, most of the time, to have Glyph of Paralysis instead of what I'm using now, which is Nimblebrew. But there are a couple other options, I suppose. I've seen monks use Glyph of Fist of Fury, Glyph of what else? Sparring. But it's up to you. I mainly use Nimblebrew and Paralysis for arenas. Now, minor glyphs, they really don't matter. But I just quickly wanted to mention Glyph of Blackout Kick, which deals 20% additional damage over 4 seconds, regardless of positioning, but you're unable to trigger the healing effect. It's just something to think about. Some monks use it, and I noticed some monks don't. So there you go, glyphs. Alright, so let's talk about gems and enchants. So gemming. I'll go over my general gemming strategy and thought process. So let's first talk about PvP power. When this expansion first came out, they added PvP power, and PvP power is a pretty useful stat, but since then they have nerfed it quite a bit, and the general consensus among many PvPers is that your main stat is more desirable than PvP power. So I've taken that mindset into my gemming, and I don't gem any PvP power whatsoever. I go for straight up agility gems. Orange, 80 agility and 160 crit gems, and 80 agility, 160 hit gems. Now, I also look at socket bonuses. On socket bonuses, like the chess piece, the socket bonus offers PvP power. I'm completely avoiding that, ignoring it, and just going straight up agility. But for socket bonuses that award agility, I make sure I pick that up. And, 80 agility, 160 crit. Crit's a pretty desirable stat, so, pick it up in a gem. And many people ask me why I don't use 80 agility, what is it, like 80 PvP power or something gems, and that's because I'm avoiding PvP power. I think, you get quite a bit of it in your gear, and adding these agility and hit gems gives you slightly more room when it comes to reforging your gear, which is kind of nice. And meta gems. Okay, so you can use the Tyrannical Primal Diamond or an Agile Primal Diamond. I can't tell you which one is better. I haven't done the statistical number crunching and theory crafting, but my gut's kind of telling me to use the Agile Primal Diamond, simply because it does offer 3% increased crit, and crit is a pretty desirable stat. And so, that's what I'm going with. Is it better than the Tyrannical Primal Diamond? I don't know, but this is just, my preference right now. So, yeah, that's gemming. As far as enchants go, they're pretty straightforward. I don't think I'm going to mention them in this video, but if you want to know my enchants, I'll leave a link to my armory down in the bottom of the description below. And lastly, I think I want to talk about stat priority. Now, I'm not going to give, a list of which stats are ranked over other stats, but I will tell you things that you should probably go for. And first of all, that is 3% hit and 6% expertise. You want to make sure you get that, because you don't want to miss in PvP, because you're missing out on your damage. So yeah, it's pretty obvious. And when it comes to reforging, I think the general consensus in 5.4 for Windwalker monks is that you want to go with haste and then crit. You especially want haste if you're going to roll with Rushing Jade Wind, because Rushing Jade Wind costs quite a bit of energy, and without sufficient haste, you could be energy starved, which will suck. Right now, I have 12.67% haste, and I really don't have problems being energy starved, and Rushing Jade Wind is working out pretty well. Now, I have seen some monks, and these are the monks that use Zune. Some of them go crit and then mastery. Um, I'd say this is the less popular, reforged strategy, but I have seen some monks use it, and some of them are, pretty high rated. So, yeah, that's, I think that wraps up the video, guys. And hopefully, for those of you that are, leveling monks, or, you just hit 90 on your monk, this video was pretty helpful and got you, going towards the right place. So, if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. We're almost at 4,000 subs now, guys, so thanks a lot. Keep it up. I'm going to keep making videos, and yeah, see you next time.